Pfizer. Good old Pfizer. Moonshot saved the world Pfizer. A proper legit business. That's why there's no footage of them on a luxury yacht with bikini-clad models trying to influence a potential presidential candidate. The luxurious party was paid for by the US pharmaceutical company Pfizer, interested in expanding its business in Colombia. That's cavorting. What's going on there is cavorting and decadence and hedonism. Pfizer shouldn't be paying for that, I don't think. Like when you see Albert Bourla at Davos talking to Klaus Schwab, like they're acting like they're real pioneers and geniuses and they're doing everything they can for humanity. But look at this side of Pfizer. That is not science. Follow the science. Oh, yes, please. Should be on a yacht paid for by Pfizer with cavorting, gorgeous young people, should he? That's not how politics should operate. You might think this is frivolous, you might think this is meaningless, and perhaps you're right. But for me, this epitomizes the relationship between government and big business. These images were not willingly released. These are captured, stolen, leaked images. And the reason that people don't want you to see this is because it helps you to understand something. It helps you to understand what Pfizer and big corporations are really about. It helps you to understand there are relationships between the powerful that are exclusive and in some cases look quite fun. It's difficult not to imagine that this was some sort of attempt to influence Hernandez and his sons with the use of yachts and attractive women. Allegedly, the video shows several Pfizer executives present on the yacht, including Christopher Ariane, manager of Pfizer for the Andean countries. When you see this kind of hedonism, this kind of decadence, this kind of slightly unctuous unpleasantness taking place, an obvious attempt to bias and influence a potentially powerful person with the use of the oldest assets that people have ever used to sway popular opinion, luxury, privilege, sex, then it's difficult to hold Pfizer in the light that they enjoyed, that halo of goodwill that surrounded them in the last couple of years while they booted them files off 75 years in the future, while their trials were funded by taxpayer money, while their product was bought with taxpayer money. That comes with a degree of responsibility that I didn't see being exhibited on that yacht. And if that's part of the processes by which Pfizer do business, then I think we can strike them forever off the sort of record of heroic corporations. This is the boat party we know about. What seems to you more likely? This is the only boat party they've ever had, and it's just really unlucky that they got caught. Yet another fucking moonshot. Or they're having loads of boat parties, and most of them people keep their mouths shut, or possibly their mouths are occupied. According to secret contracts with Pfizer that were later leaked, what they got secret contracts for? Colombia was compelled by Pfizer to forfeit immunity against precautionary seizure of any of their state assets. The one area where Pfizer are very good at achieving immunity is legally. The vaccines, 3, 4, you still might get it. But legally, you ain't getting fucking anywhere near them. They're gangsters, no? Either you buy this the nice way, through the government at a reasonable price, otherwise you're buying it privately at an inflated price. Either way, it's jab jab, baby. Can you see how far detached this is from your life? You as a human being. People on yachts getting paid wedge, dancing models, talking about how profitable it is, Wall Street about to size up the market. Don't you remember a couple of years ago, we've all got to stick together, we've all got to pull together, people that don't get vaccines, they're scum of the earth. This is not about anything other than profit. If this thing is not profitable, they've told you they're not going to give it to you. They'll only give it to you if it's profitable. If the government ain't paying for it, they'll sell it privately. The upside of that will be Wall Street will recognise the size of the market. That'll inform their understanding of their own assets. I mean, the lens of this ideology is so warping that you can't even make out the idea of this is meant to be stopping people get ill because of a pandemic that probably started in a laboratory. Allegedly. Qantas Ms. Chen sees demand for the Pfizer vaccine staying high for the foreseeable future, particularly once a new shot that combines protection against flu and COVID-19 becomes ready. Moderna is also working on a combo shot. Do you see how adjacent to just marketing speak this is becoming? The fall booster campaign. No, did you see in Vogue the new Pfizer shots? It has to make more economic sense. It has to make more marketing sense. You have to find a new angle. It's like a new Jurassic Park movie. This time, though, the vaccines have got robot's eyes. This time, a vaccine's eating Jeff Goldblum. Like, shouldn't be treated like a, well, it is treated like a product. This is what I mean. We live in an economic ideology where even if you don't see it as malfeasance, even if you don't see it as evil, even if you don't see it as being run by a cartel that are literally taking people out on yachts with gorgeous dancers and stuff, it's as the momentum of those economics means that we're lost, we're crushed in the wheels of this great beast, this behemoth's vast thighs rubbed together as it slouches towards Bethlehem, and it's not thinking, when we get there, we're just gonna have to make sure everyone's immune from as many diseases as possible. The only thing they're immune from is legal consequences to their profiteering. Mr. Bansell notes that just in the latent virus market, there are 10 different vaccine opportunities the company plans to target. Each one of those possibly worth billions of dollars in annual sales. It should be a latent virus market, should it? Like, when viruses become profitable, vaccines become big business. Wherever you stand on the vaccine issue, wherever you stand on the lockdowns and the mandates, what you don't want your life to become is just the sort of raw fodder for economic opportunity. And that is what it's become. Pfizer has made nearly $26 billion in revenue in the first 3 months of the year. They can afford a few yacht parties. At least 11 senators and 34 representatives held Pfizer shares in 2020. Are you beginning to see where we're going with this? Stop making a profit out of medicines that are more or less legally mandated, if not literally legally mandated. Stop allowing politicians to own shares in companies that they regulate. These things can be done overnight. Oh, the machinery of bureaucracy moves slowly. Why? It doesn't have to. So there you are then. Whatever it is that Pfizer are, it's not saviors. It's not Albert Baller's moonshot. They're not here to help you or to help us. If they do help, that is an inadvertent byproduct of their pursuit of profit. We've seen what Pfizer are about. We've seen the lawsuits, and now we've seen the yacht parties, which do look quite good if you like that sort of thing, but maybe it's not the best way to run a planet. Try to identify where the problem is, and I'll tell you plainly where it is. It's big corporations. It's the state, particularly the state in relationship to these corporations and the mainstream media that won't tell you the truth. There's a kind of financial tyranny taking place in the world right now. There's increased regulation, increased centralization, and no real recourse for ordinary people to control their communities or their individual lives.